And I mean, obviously work.
Oh, shit.
I'm Rich.
And I'm Josh.
Make sure your Walkman is at full battery because we're diving into our dad tapes.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for listening to tape number 15 of the Dad Tapes. Let's get rolling. What are we drinking tonight?
Tonight we are supporting Anheuser-Busch by drinking a nice Busch Light Peach. It's a refreshing beer, not gonna lie. You know, you turned me on to it. It's it wouldn't be a first choice. Like I was saying to Josh earlier, it's I'm not a fruity guy when it comes to alcohol, or specifically beer. Like this, if this was a sparkling beer, it would be perfect in my opinion. It honestly would be, but it's it tastes like a flat seltzer, in my opinion.
I guess you could kind of say that, yeah.
It's not bad, but it wouldn't be my first choice. It's better than the Rainbow Guns. And Water Guns and Rainbows. Sorry, Loveland Brewery. But yeah, it's
getting beat by Anheuser-Busch right now.
I mean, but still, hey, at the end of the day, it's not a bad beer. It just I wouldn't go for this again. If it was this beer or like a Miller Lite or something kind of pea watery, natty ice, I'll pick this. But there's a plethora of beers I'd pick before this. What do you think of it?
I mean, I like it. It's good. Honestly, kind of addicted to it.
Yeah,
at the moment. A friend had brought one over to the house, and they were drinking. I was like, "Yo, let me taste that." Because I saw the can. I'm like, "No," I tasted it. I was like, "Damn, this is actually pretty good."
Yeah,
but I mean, it like Rich said, it's a very light beer. There's not much to it.
It's not bad. Again, I would put it on the lower end of the things that we've had, but
So how's your week been?
It's been a fun week, man. It's Bridget turned 2 on the 21st, so that was fun. A big 2 and terrible 2s. We'll start there and end there. That's all we need to say. Terrible 2s suck. We didn't really go through much of that with Dex just because of his speech delay and everything.
Yeah.
He had only gotten his tubes in his ears just around that time frame. So, ultimately, it sucks, but it is what it is. And then just planning for her party this weekend, trying to do that thing up right and get a bounce house set up. That's our typical go-to for the parties. That's always fun to bounce the kids outside of it and watch them fall. It's fun to get that all set up. We got like a water slide, a splash pad set up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Not going to be a lot of kids there, but at the end of the day, I don't care. It's an excuse for us to drink as dads, right?
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of drunk adults getting in the bounce house and shit.
Exactly. But, yeah, also, guys, I want to apologize first and foremost. I am sick. So if I sound congested or nasally, it's because I am. So just bear with me. It's a brutal one. Got that from Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a damn Tennessee air, man.
Yeah, it's a damn Tennessee theme parks getting sneezed on right in front of me in Dollywood, and somebody not even pardoning themselves about it or just pretending like it didn't even exist. And
you sick fuck,
dude, I was pissed. I was heated. I don't even want to get started on that. I mean, it was a good trip, but clearly I came home with more souvenirs than I bargained for. But other than that, it's been a slow week, man. Just ordinary, nothing special. I mean, just readjusting back to this air because we were down in Tennessee, man. Dude, the drive backs, it sucked because we left at 4 a.m, and the drive back, it was so much fog.
Yep.
Dude, we're talking like a couple hours worth of driving through fog in the mountains.
Jeez.
It sucked. But once the sun came up, it kind of dried up, and then you could see the fog on the mountains. That was awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. It's the first time Deck's seen that. But at the end of the day, yeah, driving through the mountains in the dark with the fog, it blows. I would not recommend that. But how about yours, man? What you do this week?
Oh, man, it was I mean, obviously work.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Well, don't worry.
It's
in the excavator, in the dump truck, driving around. The towns are a bit busy. So
dude,
traffic.
the fucking islands right now are insane.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
Well, it's beach town traffic, bro.
What the fuck?
You gotta tell them to hire somebody so you don't have to get stuck doing it.
Dude, almost every day it seems like I'm
You're
either
their
going
bitch
to
boy.
Margate or Ocean City. So it's like, what the hell?
You are their little. Hey, go. You're their errand
I'm
boy.
their scapegoat,
You're the
bro.
gopher.
Yeah.
Go for this and go for that.
No, I mean it's been a pretty good week. Monday went by like really fast, and then after that, for some reason, it kind of was like hitting a brick wall. Just
Okay.
major halt. The days went so slow. But now I was in it.
Well, the days are getting longer.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
Tuesday, Wednesday was the summer solstice.
Yeah.
So,
Summer's
happy summer
here.
to everybody.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
But no, I had Addie this past weekend. We did a barbecue on Saturday, and then,
Okay.
Sunday for Father's Day we did her and my mom cooked me breakfast Sunday morning. And
There you go.
In the evening we went to my favorite bar called Sweetwater, and then booked a trip for Florida this week.
There you go.
Yeah, getting myself a-
Well-deserved trip, huh?
Yeah, nice little well-deserved
Going
vacation.
out there to see Zaki Poo Poo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Zaki Poo Poo, shout out to you.
Yeah, going out to see the best friend for a couple days. So, it's going to be a good time. I'm excited, man.
Hey, you're single now.
Yeah.
Do it up.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to be, have some fun. Other than that, it was a decent week. You know what time it is?
Time it is. It's time to be prepared, and I wasn't prepared there for a second, but it's time for us to be a prepared dad.
Yeah.
With our beautiful, handy, be prepared, a practical handbook for new dads or dads in general, because you can live here being 34 years old, 33, I'll be 34 soon, 33 years old, and still need to learn what to do sometimes, because, hey, parenting is always an adventure.
Yeah, adventure is the word for it.
Parenting is always an adventure. It's a new episode every day. So tonight we're gonna do the topic is eating like a person, because your baby's a person finally. You're entering that 10 to 12 month time frame for your newborn. Yeah, if you could still consider them a newborn at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like they're a person. They have their own identity that they've kind of starting to, assemble here. So, eating like a person. And it goes on to kind of tell you, basically you're not going to be feeding them mush anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to be processing up the food in a baby processor anymore and putting them in the baby pouches or baby food jars or doing an airplane in a baby mush food. So, here are some things to keep in mind when you offer your baby finger foods. When you first give your baby finger foods, you got to make sure they're small pieces.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a process. Don't be afraid. The other thing you want to do is have patience. It will take time to figure out the culinary particulars of your squirts.
Yeah.
They're willing to try everything and let your baby experiment with that food. It doesn't matter. Textures. I mean, God forbid Bridget was 1 year old eating eggs. You want to put those small pieces into piles. You don't want to kind of spread the food out on the plate, because it's just like, what are you giving me here? Put it in piles. It's a good way to serve the finger foods. Cut it up, little pieces, and put them in the piles on their high tray, on their high chair, or at the table if they're already sitting at the table like Bridget. And make sure you keep each food separate.
Well, that's what's nice about those new fancy plates that they come out with.
Yeah.
With the different separators on them. I've found them as a lifesaver with
They are.
certain foods.
They are. Yeah, they have the old ones that had the little ridge, but we've got the ones that are like friggin'
Full on
yeah. At the top of the. Yeah, it's like 3 little bowls almost. And then, keep in mind that your baby needs to eat less than you think. Their stomach is really still small at this point in time. So eating anything more than 8 tablespoons of fruit and vegetables and a couple of spoons of protein, you're good to go. Unless you're Bridget. Then you can clean your plate and drink milk. Because at that time, you're still giving your baby milk after food, which is what it says here. Give milk after food to your baby. Because most of the time, they're still getting bottles at that point. Morning time bottles, nap time bottle, and bedtime bottles. And most of the time, a baby eats before bedtime and, all sleepy times. The other thing is, make it interesting. It's a 1-year-old kid. You gotta make that thing fun.
Yeah, it's like pancakes in the morning, man. Make it a smiley face and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They love that stuff.
Give them different ways to eat their foods. Let them try forks. Kid forks.
Yeah.
Let them try spoons. This thing shows you even putting like Cheerios inside of different little tablespoons and half tablespoon and teaspoon measuring cups, things like that, just to keep it entertaining for a kid. Because what kid just wants to sit there and eat like a grown person?
Well, it's also they lose interest very fast too.
So it's like I lose interest fast too.
Yeah, but if you can keep their attention to what they've got in front of them, they're more or less going to sit there and keep continuing to play around with it.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah, you want the kid to explore food. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And then it gives you a list of finger foods for your baby to eat and throw. I don't know if I agree with all this because I don't want to be cleaning ricotta cheese or cottage cheese off of the wall. Maybe that's just my prerogative, but you know what? Half this list of finger foods your baby should try to eat and throw.
A bagel?
I don't want yogurt thrown. Let me just go down the list here first. Cottage cheese, ricotta cheese, soft steamed carrots, totally good. You could throw them things, and unless you're, an MLB pitcher, there ain't no splatting against the wall on that. Cooked poultry, peaches, toasted whole wheat bread without the nuts, bagels, cream cheese on crackers. That could be dicey. Yeah. Avocado, bananas, boiled yolks. No whites until after a year, huh?
Boiled yolks.
That sounds nasty.
Yeah.
That sounds real nasty.
Ew.
Oh, God, I don't even.
Fuck.
Dry cereal, well-cooked pasta. So that's, you want some al dente pasta. Yogurt. You don't throw yogurt. Come on now.
They're going to. You know it.
They're going to. Yes.
Addison's done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's why you have yogurt pouches.
Yeah.
That's why you get yogurt pouches, or you buy a pouch maker like we did. Pancakes, breadsticks.
You're fucking beating kids with breadsticks. Like
you can go to freaking Olive Garden and beat a kid with a breadstick on that one, and you get another one after you get done with that. French fries, graham crackers, pickles, but you got to cut them extra small. I mean, God
definitely. Well, definitely. Listen, seriously, because I know, like, all seriousness here, I know somebody that was giving her kids pickles, and they weren't cutting them small enough, and because of the vinegar, the kid choked on both the vinegar and the pickle, and he wasn't projecting it out.
So, like, the vinegar caused a reaction, and he choked on the pickle. Okay. Yeah. Ground beef, tofu. Shout out vegetarians. Yo, you don't eat tofu. It's got to be cooked right, man. Chill out. You haven't had it. You can't just give a slab of tofu and slap that thing on a grill. It's not going to be good. Spice that thing up. I know we're white, but come on. Let's cook the right way, people. You just don't boil chicken and serve it on a plate, okay? That's disgusting. You don't want just boiled chicken. What? A little bit of slice of lemon. Oh, hors d'oeuvres. Get out of here, man. Cook that shit the right way or get out of the kitchen. God damn. And then sweet potatoes. So then there you have 11 foods that you should never give your baby. Like, and mostly just for allergen reasons. Like honey, you never know how a child's going to react because of the pollen,
Well, as well as choking as well because it's a thicker...
That too. I didn't think about that. And cow's milk. Yeah. And it says never give your kid egg whites. I whatever. Citrus fruits and juices. Peanut butter. Whole grapes. Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
All seeds and nuts. Blueberries. Popcorn. I could see that.
Yeah, with the kernel.
Raw veggies. Just because it's most raw veggies.
Hard.
Harder texture. So, you got to chew and not a single 1-year-old in this that I've ever come across has got a full mouth of teeth. Hot dogs, also limit foods high in saturated fats, salt, added sugars, and foods that contain artificial sweeteners. Basically, your low quality foods. Fuck that shit. You don't need that. You don't need that as an adult.
Don't listen to him, man. Don't listen to him. He's the Veggie Wiener over there.
Well, you know what? That's how you got to be a prepared dad. So if you're not going to feed your kid it, why are you going to eat it?
Tonight's topic of the show, dietary restrictions can be either a choice, something that becomes developed, or something that an individual may be born with. And in our current times, it's smart to pay attention to what you ingest, no matter what it is or how you choose to eat, because it affects you and your body in many more ways than most ever give credit to.
Let me grab my newspaper real quick, because it's time for a data dump. So tonight, the data dump. A recent article dated June 13th references a study which was done by Stanford scientists in collaboration with 2 other universities, in addition to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or the NIST. That study reveals components of heat-marred DNA can be absorbed during digestion and incorporated into the DNA of the consumer. Meaning, those people out there who like to eat their burgers well done, you're
Marred? What the fuck do they mean by that?
overcooked or well done meat, you know,
okay.
something charred
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
You know, and we'll get into it later, but you know, you're modifying the molecular makeup of that
Well, yeah,
meat.
You're completely, when you overcook a meat, you're completely changing the molecular structure of the muscle membranes.
Oh yeah, everything. That intake of that damaged DNA can directly trigger genetic mutations that may lead to diseases and illnesses, such as cancer.
Yeah.
You know, that old saying, I know I'm aware of it, you know, reduce the amount of red meat you have in your diet because it could lead to cancer. Well, this could be some research into as to directly why it changes. You know, why it can give you cancer. It's because of the way people cook their meat and eat and ingest their meat.
Well, it's not just cancer either. I mean, there's many different things.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
and for those assuming it's only applicable to meats, you're wrong.
vegetables.
Exactly. The same study referenced an experiment conducted by the Stanford team where they roasted and boiled ground beef, roasted and boiled pork, and roasted and boiled a potato. The results provided by the NIST proved to have damaged DNA from all 3 to some varying degree. However, the study also found that the potato would suffer the least DNA damage at higher temperatures compared to meat, for no known reason as of right now. All parties involved in that study are in complete agreement that further investigation into this topic needs to be done. We're all aware of the effects that fatty foods, sugary foods, fried foods, refined and ultra-processed foods have on the body, which is nothing positive. However, we're not typically privy to the effects those same foods have on our mental state. To preface, there was a meta-analysis published in January of 2023 with the focus to explore diet quality and depression symptoms. And that study found that omnivore diets consist of 58 to 81% more meat than the recommended intake for both men and women. And that leads to a low-quality diet resulting in significantly more depressive symptoms. The same study also finds that both vegans and vegetarians, for those who think you might be safe from this, you know, you might be an exclusion from this, you're wrong. The same study also finds that both vegans and vegetarians, 52 and 7% respectively, lack the essential vitamins and minerals such as vitamin B12 and omega-3, with both linking to influencing your natural mood stabilizers in a positive way.
Yeah.
Just clean up after that one, guys. That was a messy one.
So one thing that I want to ask you that I haven't is, you know, with you and Jill being pescatarian, do you have a lot of options that you can have them have the kids choose from on a day-to-day basis, you know, as well as one thing that could be an issue when Dex or Briggs gets into school, you know, what are you guys going to do meal-wise for them?
So I wouldn't necessarily say, so to preface this, a pescatarian, for those who aren't aware, because you'd be very surprised at how many people don't know what a pescatarian is.
I didn't know what it was until you told me.
Exactly. The root of the word pescatarian comes from Latin for pesci or pesci, which is fish.
Yeah.
So, I eat fish as well as all dairy products and things like that. But we also include eggs in our diet. So that being said, we do have a lot of options just because I've had a lot of time and put a lot of energy into that diet, and those knowing and understanding those restrictions and how to raise a child within those restrictions, and especially so since I worked at that restaurant for years. It was a pescatarian restaurant. Ultimately, as long as you can expand your knowledge on what to cook and how to cook it and the different ways to cook things. So it's just knowing and seeking out that expansion of your knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes, we try to give them as many options. And when Declan was going to school, I would pack his lunch.
Yeah.
And we would also make the administration aware, as well as his teacher, that, hey, he actually just has some dietary restrictions. Now, to kind of go to the dump we just said, not the messy one you left in my bathroom, the one we just said, 58 to 81% of the population, male and female, eat more than meat than they should on a daily basis. Weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis. Without hyper-analyzing yourself, do you think that you fall into that statistic? Yes or no?
I mean, I guess I could say that's a tough one because my diet, my diet is shitty.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
No, I know.
Do
but
you think that you fall into that statistic? It's a simple yes or no.
I understand where you're going with that, but I can't say yes and I can't say no because my diets are completely different. I mean, I'm always eating something different no matter, every night. And not every night I have a protein or a meat protein, I should say.
Okay.
So I really don't think I can actually sit here and say, yes, I do fall or no, I don't fall because I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take that I don't know. So according to the USDA, which we all love and tout as the most secure government agency that favors everything we do and they have our best interests at heart, bullshit. Their guideline recommends 1.8 ounces of red meat per day, 1.5 ounces of poultry per day, and 0.4 ounces of seafood per day. For relative purposes, the average cut of a steak is roughly 8 ounces. Would you agree to that?
Yeah. 6
now,
to 8,
being familiar with those guidelines, do you still stick to your I don't know about falling within those statistics?
Well, honestly, now that you're saying that, I mean, I guess maybe I can say yes to that because now that they're saying, like 1.8 ounces of red meat per day.
I mean, one 8-ounce steak should last, you can't have any more red meat for 4 days.
Yeah, right?
4.5 days.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't then because I want to say at least maybe 2 to 3, sometimes less, but 2 to 3 days a week. I have at least a meal that's red meat.
And then those other intermittent meals, you have like poultry.
Yeah, poultry,
which would be
fish.
like chicken. And the average cut of a chicken breast is, how many ounces would you guess?
Ounces? Definitely, I don't know, maybe it varies on the size of the breast, but
4 to 6 ounces.
4 to 6, yeah.
Yeah.
I could agree
So 4 to
that.
6 ounces, which,
That's double.
That's more than double.
Yeah.
One chicken breast should carry you almost a full week's time.
That's crazy, man.
And that's coming from just the USDA. That's not coming from, and I'll get later into that, but at the end of the day, that's crazy. It's so easy for you to just overindulge into meats and not realize it and not have that awareness about it.
Yeah.
So moving forward, what do you think you could do differently in your daily diet now knowing those numbers and that you actually fall into those statistics and that those statistics give insight as to your potential output in your mood? You know what you could put it more into your diet? Vegetables, my friend.
Oh, dude, listen. One thing I do, man, is I could fuck up some fucking vegetables, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I always, when I get my plate, I always eat my vegetables first while they're hot, and then I move to my protein.
So, funny that you bring up protein. I want to get into that real quick.
Go ahead.
So, one of the reasons I opted to become a vegetarian or a pescatarian is because of, just as we've learned, how easy it is to overdo yourself in meat.
Yeah.
And when you're overdoing yourself in meat, that's going to have a direct correlation to your protein intake. And you're going to be overdoing yourself on protein as well. Let's focus on our bodies for a moment here. Do you know the biggest organ in your body for breaking down the proteins in meat? Most people don't.
No.
It's pancreas.
Okay.
The pancreas is one of the most utilized organs in the digestive system. Were you aware that that same organ that breaks down protein is also in charge of providing insulin for your body?
Yeah, that I did know. That I knew that the pancreas
Produces insulin.
Yeah.
The same insulin used to break down the sugars that your body ingests through all these types of foods, whether it's glucose, fructose, or sucrose.
Yeah.
Do you think that we as a society create our own diseases because of the food we eat? And by that, I'm not saying we intentionally create things, but we're more so neglectful. For instance, now knowing that, could it be argued that diabetes type 2 is made through environment and consumption rather than just reduce your sugar intake and you should be okay with, you got diabetes too because you ate too much sugar through your life?
Shit, that's wild.
Isn't it?
Now that I think about it. That's crazy.
It is. The fact that we don't pay attention to the crap that we eat and that we put into our bodies, let's wake up.
Yeah.
We woke now. I'm glad you awake, my friend.
Cut that woke shit, man.
I'm glad you awake.
Dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I'm glad you awake, my friend.
So, I know that we've had a few conversations, where you've mentioned you possibly incorporating chicken back into your diet. How do you plan on going through with that since y'all haven't had that type of protein in a long time? Because that could be a major shock to your body,
Oh, absolutely.
And if and when y'all do, are you guys willing to possibly try and introduce to the kids as well?
Oh, yeah. I see. The only person who might be more begrudged against introducing meat into their diet again would be me, just because I'm going to be so nitpicky. I'm going to be that asshole so concerned about where this meat's coming from. And I
but
think
there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest.
I was going to say, I think it's an okay thing to do as long as you know what you're doing and know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, we eat eggs. I'm not going to buy any eggs from the store. I'm going to make sure they're certified humane.
Yep.
I'm going to make sure they're organic as well as pasture raised.
Yeah.
It's insane. And it all comes down to the verbiage, because these companies and corporations want to be able to use and say certain things
to make more
so
money.
New terminology comes up.
Yeah.
That's when you envision buying eggs, your picturesque farm raised eggs, that's what you'd envision.
I mean, honestly, yeah, because I mean, for instance, me working on the farm as a kid and having neighbors when I lived with my ex-wife, they had all that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously at nighttime he locked them up for
yeah,
safety,
coyotes
but
and
and foxes and everything. But I mean, that's explainable. But I can see where you're coming from that, because honestly, I mean, there's no limitation to it. And honestly, in my opinion, I think that there's more egg production with that. Well, you kind of segmented into my next questions is
Go ahead.
Not many people really pay attention to the labels and such when it comes
they
to them buying meat. And that's a major reason why I outsource most of my meats, with venison, as my major red protein in my diet. If y'all were to bring that type of protein back into your diet, are you guys going to try and go with locally? Obviously, you're going to try and go with locally raised meats, such as chicken, pork, beef, or even like me with venison.
No, we definitely would.
Dude, I can honestly tell you, all right, so venison was incorporated in my life at a very young age.
Dude, I've been at your house. I loved venison. I thought it was great. And your mom thought she was pulling a quick one on me when it.
She always does, dude.
I know, and I tasted the
With
difference,
everybody.
but it's good. It's not a bad meat. I've never been turned off by it. Jill probably won't eat. She probably won't eat red meat ever again.
Yeah. Such the same thing like you were talking with earlier about, buying, getting your outsourced meats organically.
Yeah.
That's with venison, it's the same way. But with me, I don't want to sound harsh here, but it's me making the kill, me doing my own butchering, me doing my own processing. Like, I do everything myself.
Yeah.
I have taken it to someone before, but it was nothing like I liked it. Yeah, and I will never do it again.
Exactly. You know the way you want it, so.
But it's, in my opinion, it's it's a healthier option when it comes to meats, man.
It is.
So, to get to our resolution, the study we referenced ultimately lays out the map for every dietary restriction, be it elective or circumstantial. Those who tend to stick to a high-quality diet instead of low-quality diet, which is described as ultra-processed foods or high sugar and or high fat content, are most likely to maintain a healthy body, as well as the importance of maintaining a healthy mind. They conclude that the low-quality diets are inherent to heightened inflammation and inflammatory diseases, with higher inflammation levels have been identified in brains of those with depression compared to those without. It's safe to say the old adage of healthy body is a healthy mind is accurate.
Time for some situations. That sounded horrible.
You trying to sound like the lead singer to Escape the Fate over there? What's going on?
What do you got for us tonight, bro?
So first one's The Terminator. It's by Joe Becca, and it was back in November of 2022. It says, today I called my mother to hear how my dog was doing because she had been taking care of her while I was moving. My mom told me she had put her down a couple of days ago because she was sick. FML. That's a shame, man.
That sucks. Damn. Whoa.
The next one.
Thanks for the update, Mom.
The next one is a spicy one. It's called What You Hidin' by Anonymous. It says, today I was sent to the counselor who had already informed the cops because I refused to take off my wristbands. They thought I had cut my wrists. I was trying to hide handcuff marks from kinky sex and had to explain it to the cops, counselor, college professors, and two of my classmates.
God. That is, whew. What you had in your pockets there, kid? Just some marks from kinky sex? Good grief.
Oh, man, that's embarrassing, dude.
That's bad.
Valentine's Day Confession by Mr. Triangle. It's back from 2011. It says, today I learned that all my anonymous Valentine's gifts I received throughout high school were sent out of pity by my sister, FML.
Oh, my God. Yo, that is so damaging, man.
It is.
Oh, God.
Why'd you have to tell him? Like, why couldn't you just,
I know.
just hold that in?
Oh, God, dude. You just burnt that guy's life.
Oh, man. And the last one is, you just don't get it, Dad. It says, by that one cosplayer. Says, today my father grilled me a little bit for making a print for a cosplay on my $600 FDM printer. Why? Because he bought the printer for me to make money and not for cosplay. I'm a professional cosplayer who runs a cosplay prop shop. This was for work purposes. FML.
Oh, God. Oh, man. He bought the printer for me to make money and not... Oh, God. That is too funny. For a cosplay shop. Well, man, we got to find that guy on Twitter. But speaking of social media stuff, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Facebook at facebook.com/thedadtapes, Instagram at The Dad Tapes Podcast, and Twitter at The Dad Tapes. But be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review of the show wherever you listen to our podcast at. It helps.
One thing I want to do, say real quick is we've had, we're starting to slowly get a little bit of feedback from people. We've recently had somebody come out with some feedback with us called from the Batty Daddies.
The Batty Daddy Podcast.
Yeah. Just figured we'd give them a quick little shout out here. We appreciate you guys messaging us and
looking forward to collabing in the future.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. We just appreciate your feedback, man, because it helps us better the show. Show us some love, even if it's listen. If it's negative love, that's fine. Because if
you want to be beat, don't you?
No,
kinky motherfucker.
Yeah, I want to wear wristbands on my wrist to hide my fucking handcuff marks. No, but if it's negative, tell us, man.
Surprised.
Tell us so we can work on what we need to work on to make the show better.
And on that note, Josh.
Don't forget to rewind the tape before boxing it back up, guys.
All right, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Deuces.
Have a good week, guys. Peace.
Peace.